be coming into more and more. Peroshka's climbing, just climbing as fast as she can go. Those group of bikers we passed were from Germany, 28 Germans. And those two SUVs had all their supplies. And I asked him what their route was. It was he goes, they started in San Francisco, and they went down the coast, and then they went over, it sounded like they did the exact same route we're doing. Very similar route. During the gold rush years, people would come to Yosemite, and they would come through it to get out west, and in this area they were mining gold. But word got back that better than the gold was the vistas and the beauty of Yosemite, and so it became a tourist area. The tourists arrived about 1855. It became more and more of a tourist attraction. You'll hear a lot if you go into the gift shop and if you read about Yosemite. You'll hear a lot about John Muir. The U.S. government the federal government realized that this region in California was so spectacular that they preserved it and made it a state park in 1864. So Yosemite became a park in 1864. John Muir was an immigrant from Scotland. Pardon? Oh, from Dunbar. Thank you. You've heard of John Muir. He settled in California in 1868. He spent several years in the mountains and valleys of Yosemite in the early 1870s. He was a big, strong believer that the area would not survive unless they included the valley for the national park, because originally the national park was not the valley. It was just the park itself and not the valley. So he was instrumental in getting the valley to be part of the national park. And the national park status in the valley was 1890. And that was achieved due to his dedication and determination. And note that he was not a trained geologist. He first came, he was the first one to have the theory that the Grand Canyon the origin of it was glacial. The biggest theory at that time was that the earthquake, that it was formed by an earthquake. Everything had been about 4,000 feet higher rim level until a gigantic earthquake caused the entire section to collapse. At that time, John Muir was kind of a laughing stock in the geological population, but then it was funny because he actually was right, and he has since been proven correct. There was a fire in Yosemite in 1991, and you can see a lot of when we walk through, you'll see a lot of fire damage. And but the one in 1991 was 10,000 acres on both sides of the valley. It was caused by lightning, and for the first time, the park was closed to the public. The Merced River, we should be able to see the Merced River that crosses through it. Look at these roads that Peroshka is climbing. It's what? No. Oh yeah, there's a little, is that, really? Oh yeah. There's a little waterfall right to the left. Could you believe how cold your water was in your room today? It felt really cold. It took a long time to get warm. John Muir also spent about 10 years trying to save the canyon, one of the canyons called Hetchy, which is right next to the Grand Canyon and is part of the National Forest.